Hey, hey, hey! Happy Monday, everybody! Good Monday morning. It's Carolyne Rodrigues, and I'm so excited to be here. Actually, I don't even need this vest, but I gotta keep it on because it looks good. Anyhow, you guys, Monday, October 28th. It's the end of, we're approaching the end of the decade, never mind the end of 2019. Hey, Casey! Hope it's nice and sunny where you are. Sun shining today, magical Monday. So Carolyne Rodrigues coming to you from, I was going to say Wasaga Beach, from Collingwood, Ontario. I don't even know where I live. Anyhow, you guys, I love hanging out with you and chatting about things that, come across my mind, my path, that happened to me during the week that, I want to share some insights with you. So I hope it provides some value to you. So if you're tuning in to my Carolyne Rodrigues coach page, I'm here to offer you some magical Monday tips. I know everyone talks about Mindset Monday. I just want to make it a magical day and share some thoughts with you. So sun shining in Sarnia, that's awesome. So today, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the art of living. Oh, there's my mom. Hey, mom, how are you? Yvonne, nice to see you. Practicing the art of living in the now. Living in the moment. I know so many people talk about that. You should just live in the moment. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today is a gift, all of that kind of stuff, right? The present. So some things happened to me during the week that I just wanted to share with you. But first I want to read you this quote. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, which we're all good at doing, moment wisely and earnestly. Now, I don't know who wrote that, but I read that quote and I thought, geez, that makes sense for me today. So I'm just going to adjust my camera. So what does this have to do with anything, right? Simplifying our lives allows us to live in the moment, to live in the now. And what I'm finding is eliminating possessions that don't bring you joy, that free you up from feeling sort of claustrophobic and cluttered. Because I know when I have stuff all around me, I can't breathe and I can't think. And when people ask me, they used to ask me, what do you do, Carolyne? And I'd say, I'm a pilot. Now, I came from the airline industry and their eyes would light up. You're a pilot? I go, yeah, I'm a pilot. I pilot here, I pilot there, I pilot everywhere. So I'll talk about that on another Facebook Live about eliminating the clutter, right? So clearing out your homes, clearing out our home has allowed us to kind of shape our lives in terms of having, in advertising, when you're making, when you're putting together marketing material, what they call white space. Because when there's so much clutter, people can't see your message. So when people come into our home, my husband, he doesn't like tchotchkes. You guys know what that is? Tchotchkes? You collect things and you have them all over the place. And boy, when I traveled, I had a lot of tchotchkes and I just had to dust all those tchotchkes. So these are little collectibles. So I had to just, I thought, I don't want to do that dusting. So I'm going to just eliminate them, give them away. So the only important moment is the present moment, right? So with that goal in mind, I wanted to offer you some tips on how to live in the now. And in the past few weeks, we've been helping a family member sort of clear out the clutter of 61 years of living in the same house. Can you imagine? I don't think I've lived anywhere for more than 10 or 12 years. So 61 years of collectibles and going through them all and seeing how much stuff just got put away and not looked at, and it just accumulated space, and now you got this big job. So that lesson, that exercise has taught me a lesson in letting go of things and just surrounding myself with valuables, things that make me feel good when I walk into my house, when I walk into my closet, when I walked into, the garage. Well, that's my husband's domain, and he's got some work to do there, right? Clearing out the clutter. And walk into the basement. All right, so there is a good place to start, you guys, if you have a basement. So I walked into the basement yesterday to get something, and I was like, we all have this basement storage, right? Now, I will say that last year, it was all over the basement. And this year, we built a storage area that we can lock up. And so it all got put away. And my husband built some nice shelves. I'm going to take some pictures and post it on my Facebook page. He built some wonderful shelves, and I got clear plastic bins to put things in so I'd know what's in them. But amongst those clear plastic bins were all these boxes. And it was like, what's in there? And I found things that we've been here 2.5 years. And it's like, what is this stuff? I haven't used it in 2.5 years. So, not to get into overwhelm, I'll let you know what I did with that. So how let's talk about how to live in the moment. So, removing those unwanted or unnecessary possessions was key for me. So I started looking around at how much stuff I had accumulated, and we'll jump right into that basement story, right? Basement storage story. So I walked into the storage room and I'm like, ooh, okay. So I gave away a lot of my Christmas possessions last year, decorations, because we're just not home for Christmas and they just kept accumulating dust. And I thought, wow, I got a lot of stuff that I would buy after Christmas, after Boxing Day. And I took a whole bunch of them over to a family party. And it was like a trunk sale, except everybody got everything for free. And it was wonderful to see people going through stuff and say, oh, I want that, and I want that. And the joy on their faces, it just filled my heart. So when I looked at these boxes, I opened 2 of them, and one was filled with 50 million cards from a bajillion years ago. So I'm going to go through those today, but I tackled, not to get into overwhelmed, I tackled 2 of the boxes, and then I had one that says give away, donate, and one that said garbage. And I got rid of 2 big bags of garbage, and then I have another one, the donate, that I'm taking to the women's shelter because it was full of brushes and hair clips and shampoos and things that I collected from, traveling, hotels and what have you. And, all kinds of feminine personal products that are still intact in boxes. So I'm going to take that to the women's shelter because they need that stuff, right? So where was I? So again, and guess what else I found? A 7-foot Christmas tree. And I had given it to a relative and they couldn't fit it in their house. So guess what? I got it back and I said to myself, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this to town and I am going to sell it. And it's been sitting in the garage for a week and a half and my husband's like, get this thing out of here. So new neighbors moved in next door. We went to say hello. They have huge ceilings. So I said, how would you like a brand new artificial Christmas tree that's about 7 feet tall? And they were like, wow, you're just gonna give it to us? I said, yeah, welcome to the neighborhood. So they came and took it. I have a box of lights that I offered to them, and it just warmed my heart to give this to somebody who is going to experience some joyful moments in it. And guess what? I get to look at it when I walk in front of their house because it's going to be in front of their window. All right, so that's number 1. That is a big topic, you guys, and I can talk about clearing the clutter for like 20 minutes. The second thing I recognized is, how often am I smiling versus frowning? Frowning. I found I was frowning a lot. So this whole notion of smiling every day is filled with endless possibilities. But the first thoughts that enter my head often were, the ticker tape parade of what you have to do, especially on Mondays. Because you can see I'm talking fast. I'm just going to breathe. Mondays are my busy days, right? So how do I enjoy it instead of getting into this place again of overwhelm? So I decided this morning when I got out of bed, I just smiled. Smile on my face. I planted my feet. Smile on my face. And it's like, I do my gratitudes, but I recognize that I wasn't smiling when I was doing my gratitudes. So I'm going to add that into my morning gratitudes, right? So you're in control of your attitude every morning. You can choose to be optimistic and expect good things to happen, or just start the ticker tape parade of worry and the laundry list of to-do things. So be intentional, and you find yourself doing it every day without realizing it. And this morning, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know what was up. I did not feel like getting my butt out the door and going to my yoga class. I love yoga with Emmy. And then I just went, snap my fingers, put your clothes on, get out the door, smile. And at the end of my yoga class, when we do the relaxation part, I found myself just naturally smiling. Why? Because I put myself first. I got out the door. I went to my yoga class. I did something good for myself. And guess what? On my way home, the sun is shining. The colors on the trees, the vibrancy is unbelievable. And I was just enjoying the ride home and looking at what the sun does to these magnificent trees and how vibrant the color is. And I was standing at my dining room window. Take a picture. I'm going to take lots of pictures and post today of what makes me smile. And I was just looking at the sun shining down on this beautiful yellow tree, and it just made me smile. Okay. No, I don't want to be too cheesy. The next thing is to just really appreciate the moments of the day. Soak in as much of today as you can. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. You know, my husband, every morning when I come out of the bedroom, his arms are wide open and he's got a hug for me. And I never really appreciated that. I just kind of was, oh, thank you. And went on to so I went into his office just now and I just let him know how much I really appreciated that moment. Because that moment may or may not come again, you guys. So anyhow, just appreciate those little moments of things that show up that maybe you take for granted. This next one is all about, it's difficult for some people to do, I know. But remember, practice the art of living in the moment. Practice, practice, practice. And it's forgiving past hurts. So if you're harboring some resentment towards another human being because of something that they did like a million years ago, just choose to forgive and move on, because you have that capability. The harm could very well have been their fault, but again, it's impacting you. And they may not even know that it's impacting you, but you're carrying this knot, right? Which I'm all about breathe and release. So choose to live in the present and let go of that stuff. And so it may be you have done something I have done something to offend somebody. So call that person up and fess up and say, hey, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. And I just want you to know I'm sorry. And it wasn't my place, right? And it's interesting when it happens when you do that, you feel better about yourself. But the person that you called, I'm sure they feel better about that as well, because they're probably thinking, what? Whose business it is of hers anyhow, right? So yeah, letting go of control, you guys. That's another one. How to live in the moment. Okay, the next thing is love what you do, whether it's your work, your job, your career, your profession, your business. If you're just in survive the week mode, I just want to read this to you, right? Constantly waiting for the weekend to get there, you're wasting, I just want to read that. You're wasting 71% of your life. 5 out of 7 days. And how many people do you know that are living like that? Just dreading Mondays, right? Dreading the Mondays and all these statistics, right? Heart attacks happen on a Monday. So let that stuff go. Find something that you like about your job. Find something, maybe it's the atmosphere, maybe it's the people, maybe it's, I don't know what it is. I mean, I love my career in the airline industry as a flight attendant, got to travel the world, but towards the end, 33 years of flying hard on the body, so many changes. And I found myself just stressed out all the time and dreading getting on my flight. So I just set an intention that what else is there in this world for Carolyne to do and achieve? And I started writing and visualizing, and lo and behold, I ended up in this profession of network marketing that set me free from doing something that I didn't want to do and loving what I want to do now, right? I get to help other people discover this process, or process. So visualization. And part of the visualization is really letting yourself go. Like as a kid, you used to dream. I remember, the swing. My mom will probably correct me on this, but in the very first house we grew up in, there was this swing, and I remember as a little kid just hanging over this swing and just swinging and dreaming about stuff, right? So get back to those days of your childhood of, dream again. What is it you want to do? How do you want to live? Who do you want in your life? But remember, you gotta, you can't just live in la dreamland. You gotta put action and work behind the things that you desire and that you want to achieve, right? So taking action today will help you get to that dream goal. The other thing is I found myself sort of dwelling on the things that I had accomplished in the past. And I have to kind of do that little switch and say, that was then and this is now. So celebrating the past and those accomplishments, and now setting my intention for today and what I want to achieve. Because so many people live in the past and their glory days and what happened, and tell themselves they can't do this anymore. They're too old, they're too they're short, whatever, right? So yeah, have those dreams, but don't dwell in the past. Think about the present. This is something I think as human beings we're just programmed to do. What's that? Worry, 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 right? Taking on worry. I don't want any more of those gray hairs. So, you can't really appreciate today if you're worrying about tomorrow or the next moment or the end of the day, or, dwelling on the what ifs. Half the time, guys, when you sit and think about it, the stuff that you worried about, it never happened, right? Think about it. I don't know, if you're listening to this in replay time, just do that exercise. What were you worrying about that never happened? And just realize that tomorrow is going to happen whether you want it or not. It's just worrying about it doesn't do you any good. So when you catch yourself doing this, I have an anchor. When I catch myself worrying about, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I have to pack. I got to get the car ready. And I'm like, okay, stop it. Where am I? Appreciate where I am now. Make my little list of, I don't put more than 5 things on a list. What needs to get done now? Celebrate it. Victory. Move on to the next thing, right? So tackle that whole worry thing, because it's totally unproductive, you guys. And yeah, human beings, we're just programmed to do stuff like that. And part of that tackling in the worry is understanding there's a solution for everything, right? So maybe what worked before may not work today, right? So whatever it is that you're doing and you apply that solution and it doesn't work, just ask yourself, how can I do this better? How can I do this different? How can I do this so that it brings joy to my life? Because always talking about, well, in the past or in our last event, we used to do it this way. Well, this is how we used to do it, right? You may have a new boss in your office and they did it a different way and they're coming in to tell you, hey, that's not the way it is. So it's just letting go of how it used to be and embrace how it can be. That's called solution thinking. And the last one I want to leave you with is really doing a check-in. As I mentioned to you last week, this is the time of year where I start to think about how I want 2020 to look like, the next decade. So doing that introspective work now and looking at, what habits of mine are serving me and what habits are not serving me. And again, just tackling 1 or 2 things that you want to change, and recognize and catch yourself when you start falling back into old patterns. Like I said this morning, my monkey mindset was, you don't really need to work out. You worked out like 4 times last week, and take it easy because you're going to go to the gym tomorrow. Stop it. No, my habit that I'm creating is that I work out 3 to 4 times a week, and Monday is a must, right? Monday's a must. So catch yourself doing it. Get into that habit that's going to move you in the direction that you desire. So with that, guys, I'm right at the 12:20 mark. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're listening to this in replay time, give me a thumbs up, an emoji, a kiss, or whatever. If any of these tips have helped you, if you're in a group and you feel that this will be of benefit to people, where they're like, people that are constantly worrying, and they're just so caught up in the future, they're missing the now, and not wanting to live in regret. So all of this is wrapped up in that bow of letting go of having regrets, because you're living in the now. So thank you for tuning in to my Magical Monday Moments. You can always reach out to me on my website and book a 15-minute coaching call with me, CarolynRodrigues.com, CAROLYNE, Rodrigues with an S.com. And I'd love to hear from you, if you're listening to this in replay time, what you got out of this. So you guys, make it a magical day, make it a magical week, and remember, live in the now. Bye-bye.